Alright, so I did my family camping trip last week, and as I mentioned in my previous videos, I wanted to give a bit of a review of how that went. So in order to prepare for this trip, I created a bit of a list of items that we needed. The first of those was obviously the tent, the Tentsla tent, which I've mentioned in some of my other videos. And obviously the mattress to go in the back. So we opted for the Tentsla mattress just because of the fit in the car, and I'd heard that that was a good option from reviewing other videos. So I'll give you some of a lowdown on how that went as well. And the other things that I prepared for the trip was a fridge and a folding table. The folding table was actually great, not too costly. It was about £60 with shelving underneath it, and I already had some basic things like camping stoves and chairs for the rest of the items. So I'll put a full list of everything in the comments so that you can see everything that we bought. But first of all, let's talk about the preparation, because one of the things that I was concerned about, especially after reading other people's reviews and seeing how other people got on, was the fact that in the Tentsla Model Y, when you put the rear seats down, you don't get a completely flat platform. So I'd seen that a lot of people build a wooden structure in the back to level this out. So I was prepared to do that, and I was just measuring everything up. You can see here, I was seeing how bad the slope was, what size of wood I would need to use. I'd come to the conclusion that 6x4 was probably the best option to raise up the level. And fortunately, I'm really glad that I posted some messages about this on Reddit, and somebody said just take out the rear bench. And I thought, well, I've heard that removing the rear bench doesn't necessarily help. Well, I thought I'd better try it before I go and put loads of wooden structure in the boot of my Tentsla Model Y. And here you can see the before and after. With the rear bench removed, it's almost perfectly flat. There's still a very slight incline, but it's pretty much there. And I tried moving the bench to see where I could put it, and it actually fits really nicely in the rear footwell. So you can pull it off. You just have to pull on one side of the bench. Doesn't matter which side. It comes up really easily, actually. I was amazed. There isn't even clips holding it in place. And then you just have to disconnect the electrical connection. And then I laid it flat because we had some rain forecast. If it was dry, I'd probably put it outside the car somewhere. And then that made me really pleased then that I didn't have to build this structure in the back of the car. So we were ready to go, and we went to a campsite. We were in Suffolk, and beautiful weather on the first couple of days, but there was some rain forecast. And setting up the Tentsla tent was actually a lot more straightforward than I thought it would be. I'd heard it can be a bit difficult from seeing other reviews, but honestly, within an hour, it was up. It was pegged out with the guide ropes. I've seen some other people's mistakes not using the guide ropes. We did use the guide ropes, and it gave us a really good space. Our two children slept in the tent space, and me and my wife slept in the back of the Model Y on the Tentsla mattress. So honestly, it probably took about an hour to get that set up, and I was careful to make sure that I didn't inflate the columns too high. It was my first time using an inflatable tent, and I was really glad actually that the campsite owner gave me some advice and said to just put enough air in so that the columns support. Because I had heard that some people have burst the columns in the Tentsla, and they're bespoke items and difficult to get replacements for. So if you are going to get one, or if you already have one, just be mindful of that when you're inflating it. Don't go too far. You don't need it to be really high pressure. It just needs to hold itself up. Attaching it to the car was very straightforward. You can see here the carport attached. We had quite high winds, so I was definitely going to use the guide ropes. but I did find after 2 days the corner of the boot lid did scratch away at the silvery lining on the carport where it attaches to the Tentsla tent. Just a little bit in the corner. I ended up putting a sock up there just to cushion it and stop it abrading the tent. Over time, I think it could potentially make a hole. So very pleased overall with the Tentsla. I'll come back to that in a moment. And then the Tentsla mattress. This I was really pleasantly surprised with, actually. It fits beautifully. It fills all the gaps. And when you inflate it with the included 12-volt pump, you get a really strong platform. It fills all of the gaps. And something I'm just showing here, which I think is a really important tip, which wasn't included on the instructions, is it's a great idea to use that pump in reverse when you deflate the mattress at the end of your trip, because then you can suck all of the air out of the memory foam again, and you can collapse it back down into the bag that it came in. So that's a little tip for you. So you can see the setup here shortly after I'd set it up. It's a bit windy, but everything was good. I ended up actually putting 2 guide ropes on the front upright poles where it's above the car, because it was quite windy and it was whipping the roof above the car. So I put an extra guide rope on there than it recommends, just so that there was 2 holding it nice and taut. And we were lucky with the weather. We did have some rain, and that was really good actually to be able to test out the waterproofness. I was very impressed with the fabric of the Tentsla. It's obviously got some good waterproof ability. You can see the beading of the water on the roof part here. It did pool a bit in the middle of the canopy, as you can see, and then dumped itself off in the wind. We heard it coming down onto the windscreen in the night, but there was no leaks through the tent. The tent was very well impregnated and very waterproof, which was good. The other thing you can see here is the window shades. The window shades were absolutely brilliant. To be able to put those up on the windscreen and all the side windows was great in the evening to just make it dark. Now I did make a mistake and I ordered the Model 3 windscreen and side window shades. They didn't fit perfectly, but they fitted closely enough. And I'm going to replace those with the Model Y ones for the next time that we go away. So yeah, very impressed with the fabric of the Tentsla. And the other great thing about it was it actually did pack up quite well. Sometimes with tents, especially with the air column ones, it can be really hard to get them back into the bag at the end. But we were able to pack it up very easily. I did it on my own, just with 2 folds, sucked the air out of the air columns with the pump, and then put all of the accessories in the middle and rolled it back up. So that was good to get it back into the bag. The other thing that was a really good buy, and you can check this out in my other video, is the Alpicool K18 fridge. This was great for a weekend away. It easily held the essentials, our chilled food. We had some sausages, some cheese in there, as well as beers and drinks. We were able to keep them nice and cool, and it ran fine off the car's 12 volt. One thing that would be great would be to have a slightly longer extension lead so that it would reach into the front from the center console connection. That would just make it good if it's raining outside to be able to put it in the front, because you wouldn't be able to hear it in there from the inside of the car. So I hope that helps some of you. I'll put a full list of all of the equipment down in the comments. And if you're thinking about purchasing a new Tentsla, please consider using my referral link so that I can do some more review videos like this and buy some more official accessories like the Tentsla mattress that you see here. Depending on where you are, you'll get between 2,000 and 500 off your new purchase by using that, or a period of free full self-driving. All right, thanks.